Welcome to my anti-procrastination challenge. Getting back into the new year felt so grueling. I found myself procrastinating more and more so than I feel like I ever have. And I dived into procrastination really deep last summer. So I embarked on a 7-day anti-procrastination challenge, trying for 1 week to take it day by day, step by step, and really work on my procrastination issues. During this time was when Daisie got back in touch with me and asked me if there was a topic I'd want to do another workshop on. And I thought this was the perfect time to do a workshop on procrastination, especially as I now can use myself as a little science experiment. It's going to be here. All the information is here. If you click the link in my description, you get 7 days of all the Daisie workshops, and there are some amazing ones by real working artists teaching things that they've learned firsthand. And you get all those workshops for access to them for free for 7 days. So don't hesitate and click that link, because I am taking all these workshops with you, and they are amazing. But before we get into the video, I want to announce the giveaway from last week's video. The giveaway is here. And also, little shop update, custom portraits are now available in my shop. They make the perfect Valentine's Day gift. Now onto the challenge. Day 1. The first step to beat procrastination is self-compassion. I think so often the problem with procrastination is that we assume that we have to be more disciplined to tackle it, and we put more stress and more anxiety onto ourselves when we're already not feeling great because we're procrastinating in the first place, which usually that means there's a reason why we're putting something off. Maybe we're doubting ourselves. Maybe we don't feel like we're good enough. Maybe we feel like, I don't know, we're lazy and all this stuff. So the last thing we need to do when we're procrastinating is adding more stress onto ourselves, because I just think that that's the last thing we need, and that's actually going to do more damage than good. So the first step is to have some self-compassion for yourself. Treat yourself with kindness. Do whatever you need to do that is an act of you treating yourself with kindness and love and self-compassion. For me, that is skincare and having a good night's sleep, which means getting to bed early and prioritizing my sleep above everything else. It's funny because when I decided I'm going to start on this procrastination challenge, one of the first things I did was procrastinated by making a very strict plan for this video rather than just getting on with it. But I do feel like the plan really helped, and I tried to keep it simple, but I definitely didn't. Basically, I wrote a table of all the things I wanted to do every day, and I very quickly realized on the first day that if I was going to start with self-compassion, I was going to start with taking it slow, and more so use this table as a way to keep track and build momentum, rather than these are the things I have to do every day. And so I made this table of all the things I'm going to try and do every day in this challenge. Note, I said try, and more so use myself like a little science experiment. Okay, rather than being like, I didn't do this and I suck. I wanted to go through this challenge with the intention of curiosity and self-compassion and self-belief. For day 2, I started with the most important task first, and this was a Saturday. So when I wrote my list, that was cleaning my desk, something I've been putting off for a very long time, which is something I'm learning, is that letting the action of completing the task build that momentum, and then that's where motivation comes from. So on those days when I'm like, oh, I can't be bothered, I don't feel like doing it, I feel so unmotivated right now, that is something I really want to remember, is that the motivation doesn't come when I'm sat on the sofa. The motivation comes once I'm doing something, and that is building the momentum to make me excited to continue on with the action. Especially doing something that in my eyes I might feel is boring, like cleaning my desk. And once I sat at my desk, I realized, like, wow, like doing something that's quite boring and mundane, and doesn't feel like the most urgent thing that has to be done immediately, or the most creatively fun. Cleaning my desk was a task that as soon as it was done, I was so happy, and actually filled me so much joy to sit at my desk and it be so clean and so neatly organized. And actually that really helped me focus on my tasks when I was sat at my desk, because I wasn't distracted by all the crap that was on it. Day 3 is my task bracelet. So I found this through TikTok. I'll leave all the information for you to watch in the description again. I don't have ADHD, but I've been told by lots of people that I could possibly have it, and I have been putting off actually going to the doctor about it. But I have dyslexia, so I am neurodivergent, and I think my brain works in a very different way. And working by myself on my own most of the time, I don't have like a boss looming over my shoulder to be like, you are procrastinating. So I like to find like any ways that can keep me on track. And when I found this task bracelet on TikTok, I was like, I'm going to do that. That sounds great. Like, I'll try anything. Let me try anything. I will try anything at this point. I have found it so helpful. So basically, each little keyring, you can label a task. For me, I've color coded things. I also added gold keychains and clips. The way you use it is, as soon as you complete that one task, you can take that keychain off, and it's essentially like a physical to-do list. So you have your to-do list like physically, and so the idea is you're walking around and these things are so annoying that it's making you want to complete the list. When I go and make a cup of coffee, it's jingle jangling and I can hear it, and it's just making me more motivated to keep going. And then I even have color coded each thing. So my green ones are kind of just general tasks. Like I've listed them: task 1, task 2, task 3, task 4. Pink ones are, I think, are Pomodoros. So I'll leave all the information down below. I haven't made this up. I cannot take credit for this. Thank you so much to everyone on TikTok who has been posting about this, because I have found it has changed my life. Day 4, I realized a weakness I had was my afternoon slump. This was probably the time where I was most likely to procrastinate, mainly because I think I could feel my energy levels just completely dropping. And this is the time where I will reach for another coffee. And one of the things I really want to cut down in 2023 is having no more than 1 coffee a day. Like a week beforehand, something I found very interesting was I was listening to the Ali Abdul podcast where he interviewed a neuroscientist, and she said this:
nutrition is super important. So the brain is obviously a tiny proportion of your body weight. So when you're asleep, your brain is eating up 20% of what you ate that day. When you're at work and focused on something, it's using up about 1/4 of what you eat. And when you're stressed, it's using up to 30%.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it really made me think a lot about what I'm putting into my body. What can I do to make sure that my brain is functioning at its like best capacity? And maybe my afternoon slump is all to do with my nutrition. And so I have been looking into like the best foods for your brain. One of these things I've started to do with this week was incorporate having porridge instead of toast in my mornings, and I've been putting chia seeds in my porridge and making sure I'm getting those berries. There was also a study with blueberries that kids who had blueberries every single day that were diagnosed with ADHD were able to be way more productive on the days they had blueberries. So berries are amazing. Having more healthy fats, avocado, oily things like olive oil. And another thing that I have been going back to, which I used to have during university, was ginkgo biloba, I think is how you say it. I bought some from Holland & Barrett. Please do your own research on supplements. I found it very helpful during university when I was cutting down on my caffeine at the time when I had really bad anxiety. My mum introduced me to that supplement, and it's meant to be really amazing for your brain, memory, focus, and attention. When all else fails and I really feel like my energy is just dropping, I will go for a dog walk at that time. And that has been really helpful. So I kind of schedule my big lunchtime break at that time. And maybe it's not the best because I'm kind of eating my lunch at my desk. But I found that actually, instead of taking a break to eat, I'm taking a break to go for a walk and go outside and get some fresh air. And I think really, if my brain is just kind of melting and needs to just not work for a little bit because I'm procrastinating so much, then I think that's the best way. And I think I am self-employed, so I have the privilege of being able to kind of work my day in whatever way feels right for me. But when I did work in a company, what I would do is I would always take a very long walk for my lunch break, and then I would have my lunch at my desk. I know that's not, I disagree with having lunches at desks, but if it means I can spend that hour just walking, oh my gosh, I found it amazing, especially when I was on my period, just getting that exercise halfway through the day. And that brings me on to day 5, which is when I really started to work to my energy levels. So I wrote down a tally from the whole day, and throughout this whole week I've been trying to pay attention to when is the time of day I feel most alert and have the most energy, and where does my energy change throughout the day, why and how. And I try to schedule the tasks that take the most brain energy at the beginning of my day, and then the tasks that don't in the afternoon. I have protected my morning time so no one can schedule a meeting with me during that time. And again, I think it is so different because I am self-employed and I work by myself. I am able to make up my own rules. Day 6 is the opposite of procrastination, is the flow state. I did a workshop on Daisie all about the flow state. I first discovered the flow state being an antidote to procrastination during reading Stolen Focus by Johann Hari, and he talks about flow. It can be hard, I think, for me to get into the flow state, and I've learnt a trick for it, and it is building rituals. And for me, that is either lighting a candle or putting the diffuser on. Just doing something that kind of triggers the flow state for me has been really helpful. Anything kind of that makes the room smell nice just uplifts my mood, and I think it triggers me to go into the flow state, because I've developed this beautiful ritual for it now. And the final day, day 7, was breaks, taking time off and just making sure to have that balance in your life, because you just can't be productive all of the time. It's just completely impossible. And I've had moments of workaholism in my life. We just need to make sure that we're having balance in our life. And I think I can't be really in my focus zone and in flow state if I'm not also sleeping and having balance, and got things in my calendar to see friends or a nice thing to do on the weekend. And I think it's all about balance for me, and being productive in a place where I'm taking care of myself. I've got self-compassion for myself. I've got some nice things in my calendar to look forward to. So I'm looking into the future with hope and excitement. And that really helps me be my best when I'm at my desk working. We're not signing up to the toxic productivity thing here on this channel. It's not something we subscribe to. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm gonna go. I think we're gonna go for a dog walk. Oh my goodness. Gentle.